Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a very special guest. This is my mom, and so many of you, this is probably my most requested video, but to have my mom back on and talk about her favorite products, her updated favorite products, because I think we did this video probably 2 years ago now, which
wow,
it's crazy to think it's been that long. So we're going to talk about all my mom's favorite luxury beauty products, and let's just get started.
Okay, where do you want to start?
I feel like we should start with base products first.
This is something new that I've been using, and you have to say what it is because I don't have my glasses on. And it's a new thing, so I'm not used to it.
This is the One Size B12 Base Thinner. It's Vitamin Pearl Serum. So it's from One Size.
So you can see that I've used like quite a bit of this, and what I've been doing on warmer days is I've been using my Chanel Sublimage, which is L'Essence de Teint, which is my pretty much everyday foundation, my go-to foundation, the one that I use most. And on really warm days or days that I'm just going to the gym, I've been doing a pump of this and then a pump of the Chanel. The Chanel.
To like thin it out a bit?
Just to thin it out and just, make it feel more like a tinted moisturizer kind of, because I do find that this has some
good coverage.
And sometimes I just don't, if I'm going to the gym, I just don't want as much. Not that that's a lot of coverage, but sometimes I just want something super light.
Totally.
So I've been really liking that combination, especially for the summer.
I haven't tried that product. I'm gonna have to get it.
I think it's
I like that, and I always talk about it on my channel. Like, I'd rather. This is where it's nice to buy, if you were just going to buy one foundation, put the money into a really great foundation that you can really make versatile. Like, you can thin it out with this type of product, but you can also build it up to get a bit more coverage if you're going out or something.
The cat.
Oh yeah, I know.
Really distracting.
Well, that's just Casey for you.
Okay.
She likes to come out when the camera's on.
Yeah.
It's like she likes her attention.
Funny. I do find that this is the foundation I've repurchased. I have it in, this is the B30, and I also have it in the B20. In the winter time when I'm pretty pale. We're a pretty pale bunch, our family, and in the wintertime, I find that the B30 is a little dark, just a wee bit dark. I mean, when I'm using something like this to thin it out, I prefer having the darker one, but in the winter I go down a shade. But I've gone through, like, maybe that's my second or third bottle of that. It's just something that I keep repurchasing, and it lasts a long time. It really does last a long time. So I find when I do, I don't even know how much it is because I bought that so long ago.
I think the price, when we first bought it like 3 years ago, I want to say it was $210, and now it's $230, I believe.
Okay, I didn't even...
Nice inflation.
I didn't even know it was that expensive, actually. But it lasts so long.
It does.
I probably have that for, I want to say, like a year.
Yeah, at least a year. And it does, like, a standard foundation has 1 fluid ounce, and this has 1.3 fluid ounce, I believe, so you do get a little extra.
Yeah. So I do think that's worth it. And then, that's my go-to foundation, and then my other go-to foundation is this Clé de Peau. I love this Clé de Peau. My one... I guess caveat about the Clé de Peau is that I often find, like, if I'm in Vancouver at Holt Renfrew where we can purchase it, I want to look and see what they have. They are out of stock.
Yes,
so
that
often.
Is the one downfall with Clé de Peau. They do have like stock issues. I want to say.
So I do think I bought.
This is the cushion foundation, by the way.
Right, the cushion foundation. I do think last time I was there, I bought another one.
Okay, like a backup.
Just because I've tried to order it before and they've been out of stock, and that I find that really annoying. But I actually love this foundation. What I don't love about it is
the cushion.
The cushion.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's a feature that's supposed to be like.
I feel like it just. It was kind of, I don't want to say it's gimmicky, but it was so popular in the Korean market that they brought it out into the US market. And I guess, like, I think that was just maybe like it was just really popular in the Korean market, so they tried to bring it out into the US market just to see how it would perform. And I do find it a little finicky. Like I would rather have a bottle, to be honest, because it's a little messy.
Yeah, I find it easier to have a bottle.
Yeah.
This is kind of nice for travel.
It is nice
I
for
will
travel,
say that I have used this traveling.
Yeah.
And it is nice not to have to worry about foundation spilling or having that issue or breaking. So that is a good thing. And also you can take, as you showed me, the cushion out of here and flip it so you can get more out of it. So that is good.
It lasts a long time.
It's just, for me, not having the visual of seeing how much I have left.
Yeah.
It bothers me for some reason.
It bothers me too, and that's like my one gripe with cushion foundations. I really like both the Chantecaille and the Clé de Peau one, but I hate that you can't tell how much product you have left, because what if you go to use it and then you're just out one day? And I find it dries up a little quicker just because it's in that cushion, but they're so beautiful on the skin that I'm like, whatever.
This is definitely, when I wear this, I feel like it's even a little bit more elevated than the Chanel.
Yeah.
And
it is beautiful.
I know that often, like, you'll say to me, oh, your skin looks really good today, or it does seem to be so skin enhancing. And, and I find for someone my age, it just goes on beautifully. Yeah. And so that's definitely something that I would keep repurchasing. I would really like to try the
Chantecaille. Yeah, I'll give you some.
And
I'll give you
and
my
then I'll be able to compare that one. But those are the only two
foundations you really love.
I don't really use anything else.
Yeah, that's true. And
I'm
by
a
the way,
minimalist.
My mom is. You're 66.
I'm 66.
66.
I don't know if you should be saying that.
No, well, it's good for my viewers to know, like, just for skin, because obviously I love a lot of products, and I know a lot of my viewers are in their 60s, and it just helps to have someone else in that age range know that makeup still performs really beautifully.
Well, and I think some of those were drawn to the same kind of thing that has.
It's like a skincare makeup hybrid kind of thing?
Yes, that's what it is. Good. You're used to saying these things more than I am. But I feel like it's not just a foundation. It's also giving you something else, a little moisturizing. And I definitely have really, really dry skin. And then what I've been using for concealer, I have very, very dark circles. I feel like even when I conceal, you can kind of see them.
I don't think yours look bad. Okay. They're better after you stop using Latisse.
Okay.
Which I found was a big thing for me,
I know. I started getting worried about that, but I never knew that it could cause dark circles under your eyes. But I feel better not using it now. But I really like this. This is a Surratt.
Yeah, Surratt.
And I like just applying it with the sponge.
Yeah.
I find that you can apply it really thinly, which is one of the things I really like about it. Mm-hmm. I don't find that it ever settles in those fine lines. I just find that it's really easy to blend.
Yeah, I'm wearing that concealer today too.
Oh, okay. So this is and it's great to travel with.
It is great to
travel with. This is definitely my most used concealer.
Yeah.
I also I like the Chanel, not as much. And I like
Chanel Sublimage one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one thing about that is it lasts forever.
It does last forever.
I mean, I buy one and I feel like I'd have to repurchase just because I must have had that for 2 years
gross
or something.
Sanitary issues.
So I need to get rid of it. But I like this one a little bit more.
Yes.
Anyhow, this is definitely my fave.
Holy Grail concealer.
Yeah, and I do purchase this in 2 shades as well.
Yeah, same. Like right in the middle.
Yeah.
In 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Yeah. So then, of course, my favorite powder of all time.
Oh, mine looks almost as used.
Is the Clé de Peau. I love this.
It's so
I've
good.
not found another powder that is so. When you put it on, it does not look at all like I have powder.
No, it doesn't.
And I find sometimes with my dry skin that a lot of powders just even if they are really fine and sheer,
You can still see them on the
Yeah,
skin.
you can.
That's what I hate about
Yeah.
most powders is that even if you even if you apply a light amount, you can still see them sitting on the skin, or they just they never like meld into the skin, and they can make you look more dry.
Yeah, and I think too, when you've got more mature skin, you just are more aware of that. Usually your skin's a little drier and you have more lines and things that powder will settle in, and this has never... It just doesn't look like you're wearing a powder. I love this. Mm-hmm. I know it's pretty expensive.
Yep.
And again, sometimes it's hard to get.
Yes.
So I like having a backup of it, but it's totally my favorite. I feel like it's worth the price. I don't use that much powder.
No. And they sell refills of this now, so you don't have to purchase the packaging.
Right. Yeah,
which I guess it takes the price down like $20.
Yeah, but it's still worth it.
Yeah, it is. I love this powder too.
Yeah, so that's my favorite.
So
I've also did just buy this powder.
This is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. And in the shade Neutral Light.
Only because I do like having a loose powder, too.
Same. I like it for under my eyes better than
I do too.
Powder.
And I just find with this, because I like to use it...
I need to buy this.
Yeah, you should try this. Yeah, I can give you some. You can try it and see what you think. But I like to powder before I put on my eyebrow pencil.
Right, yeah.
And then powder a little bit. Powder a little bit afterwards. And this I find is nice and easy to use. Yeah. And I just have to be careful that when I get it on the brush that I just take some off.
Like the excess.
Yeah. Because otherwise and I haven't done that before. I've just like dabbed and then put it on, and it's really heavy. Like
I want to make sure to get that excess.
Yeah, so as long as you get the excess powder off. So I've been using that kind of as a daily powder, and I think it's good. Yeah, and it wasn't expensive. No, if I recall, I bought it when Sephora had their sale on. I can't remember how much it was, but I think it was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I think Makeup by Mario, I like his brand because it's definitely reasonable, but you still get products. Obviously, it's more makeup artist based, so that's why his packaging isn't like super luxurious, which I think brings the cost down, which I really like because I think his products can be comparable to more luxury, but because he keeps the packaging so cheap, again, because it's supposed to be like what makeup artists would keep in their kit, then it makes the product a lot more affordable, which is nice.
I don't use bronzer a lot. I think part of it is that I don't feel that confident using a bronzer. And in the past, when I have used bronzers, I've gotten that orangey.
Okay, yeah.
I have that.
I feel like
fear of
orange. Yeah, I feel like you're going to be like Trump looking, which would be frightening.
Maybe it's just my age. Because I think bronzing powders
have come a long way, but back in like 20 years ago, like when I first started wearing makeup, which is crazy to think that was 20 years ago. Scary. But the bronzers definitely were orange, and so we would have orange faces and white bodies a lot of the time, and I think you just have... It's hard to move past that fear when you're so used to formulations being that way, but
I think especially when you've got the paler skin with that rosy undertone, it would often just really bring that out.
Yes.
So, I mean, this does not do that.
No, it doesn't. It's the opposite.
But I think because I have that worry about bronzers, that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I often don't use them. I did use some of that bronzer today, though. And
this is the Chantecaille Sunstone Real Bronze, by the way.
And I like it because when I do, I feel like it adds a little bit of color, but I never feel like I get that orangey look.
Oompa Loompa.
And it really doesn't look like right now, it doesn't look like I'm wearing a bronzer.
No, it doesn't. This formula I really love because it's a Big Chalet. And so Big Chalets, they actually start off as liquids and then they're baked down into powders. And so when they are applied, and every Big Chalet, for whatever reason, they're all made in Italy. I guess that's where the special ovens are. And because of that formulation, they look very skin-like. Like they almost melt into it looks like you've applied a cream bronzer. Like, it doesn't look powdery at
Right.
all, which is why.
No, it definitely
And they're very
no.
sheer. Like, you need a dense brush to pick them up because they're very sheer. But for you, you probably like that because it's not going to apply a lot of product.
No. So I like that because it's really user-friendly.
Yes.
And I don't like anything that's going to be too
I love this
finicky or complicated for me. I just don't.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't, for one thing, feel that confident in my application.
Yeah.
And I also just don't want to spend the time doing it. So I like things that are just really
simple.
Yeah, simple, user-friendly. And again, I mean, I've had that for a while. It doesn't even look like I've used it. But it goes a long way. So
yeah, you're going to have this forever.
Yeah.
And Chantecaille is just such a beautiful brand. They really do beautiful complexion products.
Yeah, so I don't mind, again, spending the money on these kinds of things because I don't buy a lot.
You don't.
And what I have, I use.
Yes, exactly.
So,
that's a good point.
To me,
you're
it's
like
really
a minimalist, and you like just having those really great basics where you're actually going to get used to your products. You're going to hit pan on them eventually, kind of like this powder she's hit pan on. And then you might try a new formula eventually, but you get those really great quality products where you're not always seeking something new because you love what you have in your collection.
I'm definitely, I find I get to a place where I'm really happy with what I have, but then if you say you should try this because there's something I think you'd really like this, then I'll add in something new, but I won't add in something just because there's a new thing, only because that would be so overwhelming. There's new thing, like there's so many new makeup things that come out all the time, and I just like couldn't handle keeping up with it. No,
that's good.
Okay, for blush, and again, I don't have a lot of blushes. I think I have a couple of Clé de Peau that I really like. A Chantecaille, maybe a Chantecaille one that I really like too.
Oh yeah.
But this is what I find I've been using lately.
You gravitate towards this. I love that blush.
This is definitely one of my favorite blushes.
Yeah, this is the Valentino Eye to Cheek. This is a dual use blush and shadow in the shade 2 Very Rose.
I just find it looked, when I first got it,
I thought, scary.
I thought, are you sure I can wear this? Because it looks so intense. But weirdly, when I put it on, it does not.
Right? It doesn't look this
It
scary.
does not give me that much. I mean, it gives me a nice amount of color.
It does.
And I'm really finding...
But not as much as you'd think.
No, because I didn't wear blush for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I thought...
it makes you look clown-like.
Yes,
it's like that,
exactly.
That old, I think it's that 80s fear, like, because in the 80s...
it's the same as my fear of
bronzer.
fear of blush.
It's natural. A lot of people have it.
But I do feel that it actually does give a youthful quality to have that, that little bit of blush. And because these blushes, even though that looks like it's going to be intense, actually applies, and it's so natural, and I feel like it does just give a nice amount of color, and I think that is something that it's
very flattering.
It's very flattering.
Yeah, and I love this formula too because it's not a big jelly like the Chantecaille, but it's a powder to cream formula. Like when you feel it, it's very creamy, and because of that, it really again melts into the skin, so it's not going to look powdery on the skin or heavy on the skin.
And then you had recommended...
Yes, this is a recommendation for this. These are the Merit Flesh Bombs. And yeah, I'm obsessed with these.
I actually, again, I was thinking, I don't know about this. If I'm going to like this, or if I'm going to be able to apply it.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm not as good at makeup application as you are. But this is really, really easy to use. And I've been using it either on its own or just over top of either that blush, or I have a very soft pink, I think it's a Clé de Peau blush, or it could be, no, it's a Chantecaille blush that I have, the ones that come in the really small compacts.
Oh, yes. I love those.
And I've been combining those, but this is super easy to use. I do the technique you showed me where you put a little bit in the palm of your hand, and then take your brush and then distribute it, and then just, kind of tap it on. I've got that on today as well.
Looks
I
really
did
nice.
that combination.
It looks super natural.
Yeah, and it looks really natural, and I find that it can give me, especially for the summertime, just on its own or on top of another blush, it just gives a little bit more lightness.
Yeah.
Is it just the light, maybe the light reflection?
I think it is because this has like
because it's creamy, maybe?
I think it's a sheer formulation. So even though this is the shade Archival, by the way, but even though it looks like a intense color, it's very sheer payoff. So I think also it leaves more of a glossy finish. So when you apply that over the powder products, it almost brings your skin texture back. Because obviously you're applying powder products to your face, so it's not going to look. That's not mimicking skin texture, but because this has that glossier finish, I think it does mimic a little bit of skin texture, so it just makes your skin look more like skin.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true, it does. I love this mauve. It's like a mauvey color, and I feel like it's
really
just a real,
you.
and it's a really nice neutral. I feel like it goes with so many different things, so I love that. That's the only color that I've tried, but I love that.
Beautiful.
I love that combination. I feel like a lot of people could use that particular combo.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It'd work for a lot of
and
different
it's not,
skin tones.
and it's surprisingly not fussy.
Yeah.
So really easy to use. I really like that, and especially for the summertime.
Yeah, and I think that's good to know because not that you're a beginner at makeup, but she's not like an expert either. Like
No.
I have experience, like I worked at MAC Cosmetics and have makeup artistry experience, so it's good to know, like I can say it's easy to use, but it's easy for me to say that when it actually someone who doesn't use makeup that often finds it easy to use says something.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then this, I love this packaging, by the way.
I do
This
too.
is highlighter.
Yeah, this is beautiful packaging.
And I think they've done such a nice job
is from
with
Dior.
with that packaging.
Yeah, this is the Dior Forever Glow Luminizer in 03 Pink Halo.
Yeah, and I think I saw you had this, and then I just love the packaging,
the
so
packaging
much.
is cool.
I'm like, I hope I like this because I really want to buy it for the packaging. But I do use this, and again, I don't like a highlighter that looks like you're wearing sparkles or it looks
that you can see from across the room.
No, I
don't know if you can see that slot.
I want something that just looks, well, that doesn't look like you've got highlighter on, but it gives a little bit of something extra.
Yeah.
I have that on today too.
It looks really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just enhances the cheekbones and gives life to the cheeks and really like enhances the complexion naturally.
Mm. And I really find that's easy to use.
Yeah, so subtle.
Sometimes I'll put a little bit on my eyes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I'll put a little bit on the decollage. And I just think that, again, that one's a really easy to use. Yeah, what is that color?
It's Pink Halo. I really
Pink
like
Halo.
this.
Yeah.
I don't have many pink highlighters, but I feel like I kind of want to buy this one.
Yeah,
I just
really like
love
this
how
one.
delicate it is, like how it just.
I like that
flows.
versus I've had a couple that were more golden.
Yeah.
And
which I think I gravitate towards more.
Yeah, and I have in the past gravitated toward those. I just find, for whatever reason, this seems like
it really flatters your skin.
It's so easy to use, and it never looks like that highlighter thing. I don't have to
sitting on your
I don't
skin.
have to be that careful with the application with this one, with this pinkier color. So I'm really liking that.
Yeah, this is actually another baked gelée. So you seem to like baked gelées, which
I
do, because they really do. They just meld into the skin, and like even though this is a powder highlight, it doesn't look powdery at all. It really does just melt into the skin.
Yeah.
Which is why I love these formulas.
Yeah, I definitely love that. Using that a lot, and especially now that the weather's warming up, for some reason I like those, like a highlighter and bronzer a little bit more. I was just going to mention, because I don't really have eyebrows unless I draw them in, which is very annoying. I probably should get the
I do the feathering. It's similar to microblading. I just call it microblading, but it looks a little more natural. I love mine.
Yeah, and I
made a big difference.
I feel like that would save me so much time.
It would save you so much time.
Because honestly,
you spend the most time on your eyebrows.
Yeah, it's very. This is what I use for my eyebrows, so I really like this Clé de
Peau.
Clé de Peau. It's a dual powder.
Yeah,
And
eyebrow and eyeliner compact in the shade 2.
I just use it. I
haven't seen this.
I have a thin little brush
Yeah.
that I'll just brush it on with, and I'll usually use the lighter color. Sometimes at the very tail of my brow, I'll use a little bit of the dark. But also I have like taken that traveling, and I'll use that for like an eyeliner.
Yeah.
Or so it is like a multi-purpose. And you can see that I've used a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I find the combination of having a powder, and then I use the Anastasia Brow Wiz.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, and I think this one is Taupe. I go between Taupe and blonde usually. I find that sometimes the Taupe's too dark and the blonde's too light, but anyhow, it's brow issues. But that's what I do for the brows. Mm-hmm. And then I'll do a little powder before and after, because otherwise sometimes I find
your brows will disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
That just helps longevity purposes.
For my eyes, my everyday. This has been my recent thing. When I was last in Vancouver and went to the Chantecaille counter,
at Holt Renfrew.
Yeah, at Holt Renfrew, the sales associate there got me to try this. I don't even know what it's called.
It's the Chantecaille Next Generation Eye Base in the shade Light.
Okay.
I won't be able to see that.
I was looking for something that I could just put on,
like as an eye base,
as a base, but also that I wouldn't necessarily have to put anything like over top of my whatever you call that.
Like brow bone?
That brow bone. Yeah, the brow bone area. And, but something that went on really easily. And so I really like this because it's creamy. It's definitely got this creamy texture to it. And I usually just put it on like this, and then I'll take a brush and I'll kind of brush across, because it is creamy texture, but I like that it gives me that foundation. It gives a little bit of light up here, kind of on the brow, just underneath the brow bone. Mm-hmm. And it also, if you're putting some eye powder over top, it seems to hold it really nicely too. So I really like this. I use that just pretty much every day now.
It helps conceal any if you have veins or redness on your eyelid, which I don't have a lot. It helps just conceal that, which looks nicer on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and I do have that. So I like having something that will just give it that little bit of concealing. Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to put a powder on over top.
That's true.
Or anything. This is my most used.
Oh, you love that.
Yeah, I really like the Tom Ford
wet to dry one.
Is it the quad?
Yeah,
the Tom Ford quad. I've used a lot, but I'd say more in the evenings.
Yeah,
this is my go-to everyday. I love the Clé de Peau.
Yeah, this is the Clé de Peau eye quad, and this is #1 Sand Dune, I believe.
My only disappointment would be that I have 3 other ones. Yeah. I think different quads. This is the one I use the most. Maybe 2 other ones, but I keep hoping that Clé de Peau will have more. And then I'll go and look, and they don't have anything.
Right, they haven't come out with any new ones since they released this formula. It'd be nice if they expanded the range.
But this is just so easy to use. Yeah, I find the base is just, I can put that all over my eye, and then I will use this color. I'll just put onto my shadow sometimes, or onto my lid, and then sometimes I'll use that one kind of crease area or the outside, and then this I will just do as a liner. And
it's beautiful. I love this palette,
and I feel like it is pretty foolproof. I mean, I do not spend a lot of time putting on eye makeup, and I don't want anything fussy, and this to me is super easy to use, And it doesn't look like you're wearing eyeshadow. Like I can put that on and go to the gym and not feel like it looks
super made up.
At all.
Yeah.
Like it's still very neutral, very natural looking, but it gives you a little pop to your eyes, which I like. So love that. And then I've been playing a lot with these Chantecaille,
like eye trios.
The eye trios.
This is Cheetah.
And I got that one a while ago, but I really like these. I think
beautiful.
They're spring.
And these are the Nymph eye trios. This is Diana and the Nymph eye trio. I forget what collection, but I think it was the spring collection.
Okay, I think it was the spring collection too.
This was fall.
But again, I just find these are fun to play with. They're really easy to use. I have used them in all kinds of different combinations. I've used one of the colors to just, like line underneath the eye, to line the eye, to use as a shadow, to, and I think they're just fun to play with. And they don't give you, like, there's nothing intense about them. So they're super light. And like I said, they're just kind of fun to play with. And these are, like, I normally would not buy that kind of purpley color.
Totally. That's
or
what
there's also kind of a green, like a green. And I wasn't sure about that at all. But again...
It's so subtle.
They're so subtle and easy to use, and just kind of to add something, a different element, and just a little bit of fun and playfulness.
Yeah, totally.
And I love their packaging.
I know, I love their packaging. This feels... like the imagery is so beautiful.
This packaging is just so pretty.
It is so pretty.
And I don't know, it just is. They're fun to use, and I've been liking those. Yeah,
they're a nice way to add a little bit of color if you're color adverse, if you're a little scared of color, because I'm the same way. Like, I'm very much a neutral person. But this adds color in a way where it's not like someone's not going to be like, whoa, you're wearing blue eyeshadow. It's very, very natural and subtle, which I like.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I wanted to add, because as you can see, I go so neutral with my eye palettes.
Yeah.
That I felt like I wanted to add a little bit of color, but not in a way, like you said, that would be...
The blue eyeshadow enters the room before you do.
Yeah, and these are so subtle that it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything intense. No, and yet kind of adds, again, just a playful element, because really you gotta have a little bit of fun when you're doing your makeup.
Yes,
it can't all be super serious stuff. No. And then I love
that too.
Love these
are the Chantecaille luminescent eye shades.
Yeah, and this is probably, again, I've got 3 of them.
Yeah.
I've got
this is Cheetah.
And I've got Lion. And I think they're both kind of bronzy.
No, maybe it's Giraffe.
Yeah, it's Giraffe.
Okay, yeah.
It's Giraffe. But this, I find, especially for the summertime, this is really a beautiful golden color. This is a nice one and done.
Yeah.
When I'm just in a hurry, I'll do the just that Chantecaille, the pencil, the base. I'll put that on, and then I'll just quickly put this on my lid, and that's it. And I'll put on some mascara, curl my eyelashes, and put on some mascara, and I find it just gives, again, some brightness to the eye.
Yeah, it does.
And
it's just such a special shadow. This is another Big Chalet product,
right?
And you can use these wet or dry. And
I've never used it wet.
It will just be a little more intense, but also weirdly like less intermittent shimmers. Like it's very smooth when you use it wet.
I'll have to try.
It looks a little more intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love these. They're so pretty. They just add so much dimension to a look without you having to add 5 eyeshadows. Like you can just use
And again,
this.
there's something about, I love the packaging.
I know the packaging is beautiful.
I love it. It's so cute.
It's so cute.
But also just the design of the powder.
The imprint, yeah.
Like the imprint on the powder is so pretty. So there's something that I like to feel when I'm putting on my makeup. I like to have little moments of joy.
Totally. That makes sense.
So this is something that I just, there's something about it that I just feel like, oh, it's pretty, and it's
What you want when you
Anyhow.
apply your makeup? Like, it's nice when you spend that money and you feel just like that extra like specialness. when you're
Yeah,
putting
and
it
that's
on.
what it is. Yeah, there's just something about
Part
it
of the
that
that's
is
the best part about
yeah,
makeup.
it does feel special. And then for my mascara, I haven't really been using. I used to do like a primer.
Same, I haven't done that
haven't
either.
been doing that very much lately, but I've tried different
Right, you have.
mascaras, and I keep coming back to the Gucci.
Yeah.
I just really like this Gucci. I find
Okay.
that it goes on. I don't want anything that looks too like heavy
Yeah.
on my eyes, and yet I find some mascaras don't give me enough.
Yeah.
So this to me is the perfect Goldilocks mascara. It makes
love a
me
Goldilocks.
feel like I've got just the right amount of mascara. It doesn't clump. I've never found that I have, after
Yes.
a workout, I don't have mascara, coming down my cheeks. and yet I do feel like it still looks natural.
Yeah, it is a natural looking mascara.
But gives me enough so I look like I have, like it opens up my eyes.
Yeah.
And again, I think that that's something that I find really makes a difference. But I keep coming back to this Gucci, one.
Yeah.
Lips. Okay, this I've been using, and you'll have to say
yeah.
what the name of that
This
is.
is the Chantecaille Lip Sheer in Monarch.
Right.
Oh, packaging.
I love this
That's
color,
gorgeous.
especially spring and summer, and it honestly just feels like a lip balm.
Yeah, it's like a tinted lip balm. I love these. I love Chantecaille lip products. They're all so good.
Like it just feels so good
It's a
on
really
the
nice
lips,
color.
and it's such a nice color.
It
I feel
is.
like it gives me brightness,
Yeah,
but
it is.
it isn't too much.
No.
Because I don't like a lipstick. Again, to me, this is that Goldilocks lipstick,
Yeah.
that it's just enough color, not too
Not too
much.
much.
I love the feel of it. I mean, yes, you do have to reapply it because it's
Who
not.
cares
gonna
when
be
your lips feel so good
Yeah.
versus like a normal lipstick? where
Yeah.
you- yeah.
So I really am loving
This.
that. So what I've been doing is putting on the lipstick, and then I've been lining my lips.
Okay, yeah.
Because I found lately that if I line my lips and then put in lipstick, I feel like it looks like I drew on.
That makes sense.
I just don't like that look.
Yeah,
where
that's why I always rub my lip liner in.
Yeah, I can see that. But this way, I feel like if I've already got the lipstick on, and then I just enhance it
Yeah,
a little bit
I
with
like
the
that.
lip liner. I really like this. They were out of there's another color.
The Beverly Hills one.
Yeah, yes.
This is the Merit lip liner. that
Yeah.
I've been talking about.
I do really like this because
Yeah.
it goes on really easily. It doesn't feel pencily,
No,
and yet
it's
it
not
does
dry.
stay.
Yeah.
But I would like to have, like, this is a good combination, but if
Right, I
I'm
like
wearing
that
lipstick that's a little sheerer, this is too much.
Right.
So
You'd probably like the shade I have.
Yeah, obviously a lot of people like that because
Clearly,
they were
it's
sold
sold
out of it in the Sephora
Yeah.
sale.
This is the shade Coupe or Coupe.
Yeah, so I'm really liking that combination. This probably looks a little messy, but
People like when things are a little messy.
another
Maybe some
shade-
have used them.
another
Yeah,
Chantecaille.
Chantecaille. That's the lip chic.
Okay, I also love this. A little bit more of a lipstick feel.
Yeah.
But
than the lip
still feels very like smooth
Yeah.
going onto the lips. It feels very nourishing.
It does.
Not as balmy as that one, but I still like this. It's almost like a lipstick balm hybrid
Yeah.
kind of idea. And this is, again, my favorite color. This is
Bourbon
the
Rose.
Bourbon Rose, and I like this in Patience. Patience is just a little more like nude. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I want to look like I don't have any lipstick
Yes.
on, any color on my lips,
Yeah.
then I'll use that. But if I feel like that I need a little more brightness, then I like this one. Very
Yeah, that one's
similar
gorgeous.
color wise.
Yeah,
Definitely, they're not twins,
No.
but they're probably cousins.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of describing them.
And then I really also
I
like
love that too.
Although this...
Right, yours is weird.
This is my third one that they sent me, and they all have been doing this clicking.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't like
turn them
mine
up. But so that
the YSL candy glaze.
I love the packaging. This just annoys me. I've got a couple of them, and they don't do this for whatever reason. It's just
it's weird.
I really love this color. It's a nice summer color.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
Again, it's a lighter pinky kind of tone, but I love the way these go on. They're really easy to use.
Yep.
I love the packaging.
Same.
And when you don't have like one of these ones that doesn't turn smoothly like that, I actually find myself not reaching for this only because of that. So it goes to show little things make a difference in the packaging when you're purchasing makeup. But I would purchase this again because I have a couple of other ones that's not an issue.
Right.
And I do like the formula.
Yeah, I love this.
And yeah, I find it's a nice, really nice, easy lipstick.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's a really good spring summery color.
It is, yeah. This is the shade 44, which is it's like their classic nude pink shade. They come out with 44 and everything, like blushes. All their lipstick. It's like just their, I guess, their most well-known, loved nude.
Yeah, I seem to really be gravitating to a lot of pinks lately.
I think pink suits you. This is final product, and this is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Setting Spray.
And I don't know what made me try this. I can't remember, but I like. I actually,
a nice spray.
Yeah, it is a nice spray. I like the packaging. I know it's really simple.
Oh, that's a nice spray.
Yeah, but there's something about this that I find it still looks kind of elegant.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't feel like super plasticky like some of the bottles do, and I like it feels like it's got something in it that is also like maybe a little enriching for the skin. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it does feel really nice. Like it doesn't feel drying like some setting sprays.
No, not at all. And that's what it is. Nice. It feels a little more moisturizing than some of the setting sprays that I've used. That I put them on and I feel like instantly my skin feels dry. This does not feel.
No,
it's almost
doesn't at all.
Feels like it's hydrating as well as setting. So I've been using this, and I mean, it's really great. I notice especially if a setting spray is going to work, I can tell with my brows. Because my brows are still on after the gym and after I've run around all day. It's a good setting spray.
That's nice. So it's nourishing, but still makes your makeup more long lasting. Yeah, which definitely is a very nice balance.
Yeah, it definitely does. And I find that that I just need to use a setting spray if I want my makeup to endure all day long. And this I've really been liking.
I'm gonna have to pick this up too.
Yeah.
But that is everything.
That is it.
Thanks so much for coming on my channel. That is everything for this video. Thank you again, Mom, for coming on my channel. This was so fun to do.
This was so
fun
fun
to
to
come
do.
back and do skincare and some other things.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I would definitely love to do that.
So we'll definitely have her back on. We'll have like a series. But thank you so much. And leave your comments down below. Let me know some of your favorite products because we would love to hear from you and hear your favorites. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it. And I'll see you in my next video.
Bye, everyone.